Hey everyone, sorry. Apparently, the hurricane is making all of my internet crazy. So, third time's the charm. We've got it going. Let's see. It is the 9th of July, and tomorrow may be a little odd because I know you guys, I've shared with you that Mr. Mo is adopting, oldest daughter. So, we've got that tomorrow and we've got relatives in. So, I will try to keep you guys updated on, where I am going to be and if oh, for the love of all that is Cheetos, what is up with my internet connection? I am not talented enough to figure out how to do internet stuff. But good morning, all of you. I hope you are able to see me. And if not, I am just talking into the ether, which kind of works for me too. It's a group therapy session by Mo talking to Mo and all the voices in her head. Any hoozle, let us get to the first story. Um, Andrea Yates is rejecting the chance to go free. So that is big news. Awesome. Yay. You all see me. I am seen. Good. I think that, in classic rural internet, well, mojo, it goes out and we are getting the, storm remnants of the hurricane. So great Indiana hurricanes. But, this is very interesting. We on one hand, we have Suzanne or Susan Smith, who thinks that she is ready to get out and live with a sugar daddy, and Andrea Yates is like, "No, I did a bad thing. I'll probably just stay here." Andrea Yates, the Texas mom who drowned her 5 young children in 2001 while in the throes of postpartum psychosis, remains housed in a medical or mental hospital, and if she gets her way, she'll never be released. The Post has confirmed that Yates declined a hearing last month that would have determined whether she was competent to be released from the hospital. Under the terms of her conviction, Yates is eligible to undergo a review every year, but she has repeatedly declined to be assessed. The Post learned that Yates, 60 years old, lives a quiet life inside Kerrville State Hospital, which is intended for those acquitted of criminal offenses and committed by the court to receive inpatient medical and mental health services. She spends her days making greeting cards and other crafts, often featuring rainbows and butterflies. She sells her crafts at art shows and festivals, and the proceeds from her sales go to the Yates Children Memorial Fund, which helps people suffering from postpartum depression. Yates has access to the internet and often spends time on a family website that was launched by her husband, where she can look at photos of the children that, she killed. Yates was 37 on June 20th, 2001, when she drowned her 5 children in the bathtub of their suburban Houston home. Now, I will say that I ha I wasn't really into trials, but as I have learned more about this family dynamic and some of the deep dives that other YouTubers have done on the Andrea Yates case, I really find some fault with the husband. Now, hear me out. He's a victim in this as well. But the doctor told them at child 4 that Andrea has severe postpartum psychosis. She has severe postpartum depression. Don't get pregnant again. And they decided to put their faith in God or what have you and just have a bigger family. But it's kind of like you saw the ride and you again bought a ticket, and then you didn't have extra support for your wife who you knew was struggling at these times. It really seems like a overconfidence that turned into a tragedy, and I hate that for the entire family, but I feel like there were warning signs that were ignored by all parties on this. According to court testimony, she waited for her husband, Rusty, to go to work, and when he was gone, she took the lives of all of her children. After she did all that, she called 911 repeatedly and reported the children's death, then called Rusty, a NASA engineer, and told him to come home from work. Yates was charged with 5 counts of capital murder. The prosecution called the crime hideous and advocated for the death penalty, but the defense argued that Yates suffered from severe depression and psychosis as a result of her recent delivery, and that caused her to do what she did. They sought intensive mental health treatment rather than prison. She was initially convicted of capital murder and sentenced to life. Even behind bars, expressed delusional thoughts, telling authorities that she had considered unaliving the children for 2 years to save them from eternal damnation. Now, there are several, and I should not know any of these facts, but I do because let's be honest, I listen to true crime 24/7. But this is one of the motivating factors when mothers take out their children. It's considered a savior type thing because they believe that either the world is too corrupt or they are sending them to a better place. So this is a lot of a fairly classic psychotic sort of reasoning tool that is used when women do this. And I really feel like the state of Texas made the right choice putting her in a mental facility. Um, Now, I do get irritated a lot when, then everyone and their mom claims that they have postpartum depression, to get out of stuff. But this was a clear case of this was documented. This was, not a surprising thing. And she was clearly mentally ill. I do applaud her for making the choice to just stay in the mental hospital where she can get help. I can't imagine living with the guilt that if I did this when I was not in my right mind, I don't know that I could live with the guilt every day. Um, but she was sent to the mental hospital in Kerrville after the jury found her not guilty by reason of insanity in 2006. Now, while she is eligible for a hearing to determine her sanity, she is not required to seek release. According to the courts, she can spend the rest of her life in the facility. She talks to her husband monthly, despite the fact that they are divorced and he is remarried. Her defense attorney, George Parham, has long maintained that Yates is happy and thriving at Kerrville, the only place she's called home for 17 years. She's where she wants to be, where she needs to be, Parham told ABC News in 2021. And I mean, hypothetically, where would she go? What would she do? I mean, honestly, she probably is the safest because I will be honest, when I first heard about this case, when I was a know nothing sophomore, no, junior in high school and had no idea, I would have wanted her, mob justice allegedly in Minecraft. This case was polarizing, and I think that she's trying her best to make with with what her life what she can out of the pieces, and I'm glad that, if she's thriving and happy, I I don't know how she lives with the guilt, but if she's able to do it, then just leave her be for the love of Cheetos. Um, Now maybe this is how police get so good at sniffing, devil's lettuce dogs. Yeah, I think so. Lady Autumn Sky, I don't know that even if I knew that my significant other was severely mentally unwell, if anything happened to our kids, I don't know that I would have it in me to forgive. Also, I didn't know that Lady Autumn Sky has a channel, but this is something I'm going to have to check out. I really want to be more positive and try some different alternatives to maybe Western medicine. So if you are interested in that stuff, I will definitely be checking out Lady Autumn Sky later. Uh, Quote, "Smell of the marijuana could knock you off your feet," end quote. Police chief fired after office reeks of weed. He's like, "No, I just had a skunk in here. I just have skunk. I got sprayed. I got tomato juice, okay?" Or he could have been on the devil's lettuce because that looks like munchy double chin of Cheetos late at night. Not that I know anything about that because I retain Mike and Ike's, okay? I do not do Cheetos, mostly because evidence. I'm just kidding. I don't like Cheetos. An Ohio police chief is out of a job after the village council fired him because his office reportedly smelled like the Mary Jane. Also, he was allegedly falsifying his timesheets. Look, I'm just saying, It's hard to remember time when you are Lucy in the sky with diamonds. There is no time when you are communing with your inner self with the use of marijuana. The village council for New Miami, well, of I mean, y'all named your town New Miami. Y'all got Florida man in Ohio. You get what you ask for, if you ask me. A small town of 2,200 people outside Cincinnati unanimously voted to terminate Chief Harold Webb last month. Mayor Jewel Hensley outlined the allegations in a letter. Hensley alleges that Webb only reported to duty twice over a 2-week period starting in June the 2nd. I mean, hey, I'll be the sheriff. I will show up exactly 2 times a week too. But when he turned in his time card, a miraculous June miracle, he allegedly claimed that he worked 48 hours. Again, time is a little different when you're on the purple Urkel, all right? I'm giving him a cheat card. You know, time is a continuum. She also checked with Butler County Dispatch, who reportedly said Webb only checked in for duty on June the 2nd. When Hensley, along with councilmen Ken Flick and Matt Stevens, went to confront Webb about the information on June 20th, he said he had worked those hours but hid his patrol car in the garage from the mayor because, quote, he saw this coming and wanted to make a statement, she wrote. Webb said he could not produce his daily log and would have to call the camera company to show them video footage of him coming in and out of the office. Did he take the Higgins route? He's like, "Look, I had to administratively shuffle a couple cars around. It's not my fault. I was doing my filing. I had to put the Acura in front and then, the Dodge, Neon, and then we had the, Xterra. It was just as how we did." Okay. Come on now. Sir, you've been caught. You have been caught Cheeto dust, orange dust handed, okay? Let it go. Hensley said she asked whether the job was too much for him considering he worked full time with the U.S. Postal Service. Well, that makes me feel comfortable. Hey, sir, I'm saying if you lose my bills, I mean, we'll just blame it on Jesus, okay? And had a family, but Webb insisted he could perform all of his duties. A few hours later, Webb contacted Hensley and told her to meet him in his office, and she and Stevens went to the police station to retrieve the time logs. Quote, "The first thing that came out of my mouth was, 'Who has been smoking all the devil's lettuce in here?'" Hensley wrote, "The smell of Mary Jane could knock your feet off." But did he have patchouli oil? Because I think that's a bigger sin in my book. Hensley noticed that the office did not reek of, Mary Jane when they met with Webb earlier that day. Look, he was stressed and his glaucoma was stressing him out. And then he has to meet with you two politicians. I mean, he just needed to be relaxed a little bit. On June 24th, the village attorney wrote a letter to order that Webb be drug tested. The letter said Webb had to be tested the next day, but when he went to the facility, he refused to have someone witness the test, according to Hensley. The mayor insisted it be witnessed because, quote, "Webb is the chief of police and should know every trick under the sun to use if you want to cheat a test." Webb reportedly walked out of the facility and later texted Hensley that she had won and he would submit his resignation. He claimed the office smelled like, the Mary Jane because of a recent drug bust where the department seized over 850 marijuana plants. Well, there you go. I mean, he has a total reason. Now, call me a bit naive, but do the plants smell like the burnt essence of the plant? Because I don't know. I don't know why, but this is making me laugh so hard. If anyone sends him a bunch of Cheetos, don't do that. It would be hilarious, but mean, but hilarious. So don't, because last thing I need is YouTube. Did you send a truckload of Cheetos to this guy who apparently needed the munchies? So the entire board voted to fire him on the 27th. The mayor and Webb had been feuding for months. Earlier this year, she accused him of failing to respond to 911 calls and stealing hot dogs from a gas station. I mean, again, when you got the munchies, you got the munchies, all right? He had to, and them hot dogs have been there since before the birth of Jesus. So, I mean, steal them, don't steal them. What's the big loss? Yes, I know stealing is wrong. Children, if you are watching this, do not do this. Also, children, why are you watching this? She placed him on unpaid leave in March after Webb's wife made comments on the police department's Facebook page criticizing the mayor. The council voted to reinstate Webb after his lawyer pointed out that Hensley did not follow proper procedural, due process in suspending Webb. Uh, his attorney, Jeffrey Gray, did not immediately respond to a request for comment, but he has previously defended his client's integrity to WXIX. Uh, I'm sensing some foreshadowing, but this man is going on to Massachusetts to lead the state troopers, okay? The chief has decades of experience in law enforcement. He has never been disciplined before, nothing to this magnitude. His officers love him and they're willing to stick up for him. I think that speaks loudly of his character. So there you go. Um, Again, do not send him Cheetos, although I think he's been found, orange Cheeto fingered, red handed. In serious news ish, well, serious because someone lost their life. I was not familiar with this woman's work. I'm sure it involved a lot of stepbrothers and washing machines, but she's still a person. So, an autopsy report reveals adult film star Jesse Jane's cause of death. Um, God, I hope this is not a banana joke. Uh, Adult film star Jessie Jane died of an accidental overdose when she and her boyfriend were found unalive in his Oklahoma home earlier this year. Jane had deadly levels of Colombian marching powder and the big old F in her system, according to an autopsy report made public Sunday and obtained by the Oklahoman. She was 43. Cops discovered the bodies of Jane and Brett Hassenmuller, 33, on January 24th after Hassenmuller's boss requested a welfare check. Police at the time said the deaths were being investigated as suspected overdoses. The autopsy report also stated that the body was starting to decompose when they found her. Her real name was Cindy Howell. She appeared in more than 100 adult films while also popping up in shows like Entourage. She said in a 2009 interview that she enjoyed meeting admirers of her work and endeavored to brand herself as a SMEX symbol. I think that I'm more personable as a person, she told CNBC. I love meeting my fans. I know that my fans made me who I am and I interact with them. I hope she used Purell. Okay. And I feel, all joking aside, addiction is such a suck thing, and I am so sorry that she lost her battle, and I'm sorry. My heart goes out to her family members, her friends, people okay, not her fans. I mean, I'm sure they've moved on now. The hub is full of many. But, you know, when someone loses their battle, it leaves a giant void, and the hope that you had that things would turn around is lost. And sometimes that hope, even though it's killing you to keep that little flame alive, when you finally have to extinguish that, that is truly heartbreaking. So I hope that her family members, her friends, people that were close to her are getting the support and help they need. Uh in the absolute, I think we y'all crank up Lord Chippy and put some premium diesel in him, because we got some things to talk about with these two. Abilene teacher and headmaster accused of failing to report allegations that a preschool employee was SAing a student. Now, you two chicks, straight to Snake Island. And how the heck this predator didn't end up with a little dot to his eye or their eye? Look, y'all, I work in a place, if I worked in a place with small children and I learned that someone was doing something unspeakable, look, y'all, I might need bail money. So these two hiding it, yeah, preschool, Lord Chippy, extra diesel. No F's given. I am done. I have looked around for dams to give, and I am done. Yes, preschool. Preschool. Abilene, Texas. Now, this happened in Abilene, Texas. I'm surprised there are not like pillories in the town square because I would need bail money, y'all. Bail money. An Abilene schoolteacher and headmaster are both accused of failing to report allegations that a teacher's aide facing federal child grossness on the internet charges may have inappropriately touched a young student. At St. John's Episcopal School, employees Kelsey and Alexander and Rebecca McMillan both have 2 warrants for misdemeanor failure to make a child or make request child abuse report in connection with allegations against Mike Eichhorn. Okay, well, his name is Eichhorn. We should have known that Finkel is Eichhorn, and this was a bad idea to begin with. I mean, we have learned many things from Ace Ventura, and I think Finkel is Einhorn. We just needed to make sure. I'm pretty sure I'm mispronouncing his name to make that joke work, but he's a gross guy, so I don't care. A preschool teacher's aide at the school who's been at the center of a child grossness on the internet investigation for the last few months. During the investigation, police wanted to, quote, determine if there had been any children at the school that Eichhorn had access to that may potentially be victims, according to court documents. A family from the school came forward and stated their son made allegations that Eichhorn had been absolutely disgusting with him in January 2024. The mother claimed she called Alexander, who was her son's teacher, then notified the school's director, McMillan, of the allegations, according to the documents. The documents state that McMillan contacted the parents after she was made aware of the allegations, claiming she conducted her own investigation after watching surveillance video and speaking to Eichhorn before she determined that the appropriate touching was accidental while Eichhorn was helping the child with his belt so he could use the restroom. They might have it. I don't read these stories until you guys do. I will look. Let me put that on my handy dandy list of things to look up. I do not have that yet, but we will look at it. Eichhorn, and you're going to get a lot of horns in Gen Pop, sir. I hope you realize that. If you survive Gen Pop, if you've really been, being a gross individual. McMillan then notified the parents that nothing untoward happened, and the surveillance video showed the child skipping in front of Eichhorn to rejoin the game after the alleged incident. However, the documents state that neither Alexander nor McMillan notified the Texas Department of Family and Protective Services or any kind of law enforcement about the issue. McMillan did not deny her failure to report, but stated she conducted her own investigations, the document claimed. Yeah, I'm sure her investigation was CYA, cover our behinds. Both Alexander and McMillan are mandatory reporters and required to notify proper authorities about allegations of, any sort of terribleness with children within 48 hours of those claims being made. Alexander and McMillan were arrested and released from jail after posting bonds totaling $8,000. And yeah, no shot. I'm sorry, but there's no way. I don't want the teacher, I don't want to do the principal doing their own investigation, because their investigation is going to be cover our behinds. So there you go. In another, crappy story, but it actually involves, poo, here you go. An ex-Tao hostess is accused of tossing poo in a New York hotspot's koi pond. She was busted for, poo flinging. Now, I have a lot of questions about this, mostly because why and what the heck, and a lot of just, ma'am, I'm gonna send you directly to Mars. We don't mess with koi. Koi don't need that. Koi need real food. I don't know what koi eat, but definitely not that, I hope. A former hostess accused of throwing poo at a swanky downtown nightclub, Tao, was arrested Monday for tainting the hotspot's koi pond. Ariel Roman, 24, was handcuffed. Look, okay, y'all. Now, as a lady who's not attracted to ladies, I don't know that I can, but this chick doesn't, go on the hotness crazy, you know, line where you can deal with more crazy the more hot. I mean, she is not poofling and hot. She is not Amber Heard, and even Amber Heard couldn't, get over that curve. So, ma'am, I don't know what you think you've done in your 24 years of life, but this is wrong. Ariel Roman, 24, was handcuffed just after noon outside Manhattan Criminal Court, where she appeared at a hearing for a separate harassment case. She is making all the good choices. Harassment, flinging poo. I mean, next time they're going to put her in a zoo, she can hang out with all of the poo flingers, I guess. Ex-Tao Hospitality Group employee was charged with burglary by entering an establishment she knew she was banned from and damaging property inside the restaurant, a criminal mischief in connection with the poo toss around midnight on June 2nd, police said. And the upscale downtown establishment sued Roman, claiming that the poo fling had cost a whopping $3,135 in damages, according to the court record. Roman was due in court on Monday for an appearance relating to harassment charges stemming from an interaction with a TAO affiliated promoter, she told the Post. She pled not guilty to those charges last month. Quote, "This is based on a fake report," she said before things hit the fan outside court. "They said I was stalking him and harassing him by sending repeated text and stuff, which isn't true whatsoever." Oh my gosh, Laura Owens, you've met your best friends. Actually, have we seen Laura Owens and this chick in the same room? Because I'm thinking we might have a Batman situation here, or that Spider-Man where they're all pointing at each other. Her arrest came less than a day after Roman claimed to the Post that her ex coworkers were falsely reporting threatening incidents involving her because she tried to whistleblow about alleged SA and drink spiking at the hands of Tao promoters. She claimed she had also been receiving countless anonymous messages to her online accounts threatening to make false police reports against her to land her in jail. These people are after me and they won't leave me alone, she said. The ex-hostess was also charged with assault Monday in another incident after allegedly throwing a bottle at someone at Hearsay Club. Okay, maybe she's a little closer to that crazy hot curve there. But I mean, I don't know, y'all. She just looks like, look, this is Mama Mo here giving you advice. But she looks like, if you are out looking for a quality woman, she looks like she spends 4.5 hours getting ready. And if you want to deal with that and crazy, she's your chick. But get yourself a woman that's okay being makeup free and, willing to go out and play and not take 4 hours. That's just my advice. But I'm not, a guy looking for a gal. So take all of that with a ramen noodle, packet of assault. Thank you, Atheist Ant, for your super chat. $10 felony. Yeah, she had a felony shat. Some days you think it's gonna just be a fart. It ends up being a shart. And do you really want to? She just tried to hide it. She was prairie dogging. That was just all it was. It was a victimless crime. I don't know. She seems to have anger control issues because she just tried to bottle someone at the Hearsay nightclub, causing liquid to splash in the victim's eyes and causing burning last December. Well, she's just full of felony accessories. Roman ended up arrested on June 1st when she was charged with aggravated harassment after allegedly showing up and outside of Nebula nightclub and shouting threats. TAO claims Roman is, quote, unhinged and violent ex-employee on a rampage of harassing, threatening behavior, according to its lawsuit filed on June 11th in the Manhattan Supreme Court. But Roman contends she is a hashtag Me Too whistleblower who cannot be silent. Okay. Y'all, this chick is our new Rosa Parks. I think not. I mean, unless she has evidence, I'm going to go ahead and maybe not believe the chick that's, always getting, police issued bracelets because she's throwing things at people. I mean, call me crazy, but I'm going to need evidence that she's, Rosa Parks 2024. That's my desperation, she told the Post on Sunday. That's what they led me to do, something to get on the news at how the poo flinging thing. I'm desperate because no one's taking accountability. Okay, y'all. I mean, I'm just spitballing here, but if I wanted someone to listen to my cause, maybe I'd dress in a suit. I'd get Gloria Allred because, she is primed out there like B. Ivory Lamar to pick up the next Me Too victim. But I don't know that my, category board of possible plans and attack vectors would be to fling poo. But I mean, it is 2024, so you know, it was a bold strategy, Cotton. It just didn't quite work out for her. And God, I hope she used like gloves and Purell. The drama started in late 2022 when Roman broke up with her boyfriend, a Tao promoter, whom she alleged threatened to neck hug her cat, SA her, and impregnated two women while they were together. Quote, I was genuinely having a mental health crisis, she said. I was literally outside of the pier crying all night because I found out he had gotten two girls pregnant. His friend basically told me everyone at Tao know about this. Roman ditched work after the breakup and was subsequently fired in December 2022. She began speaking out on TikTok and Instagram the following spring after someone came forward and said she had been SA'd by her ex. That's when I started speaking up about all this stuff, she said. When I started posting about it, other people started coming forward and started realizing that this was not just one girl. Hello, Nicholas Starro. Roman claims that the alleged harassment only escalated since he began airing out Tao's dirty laundry. She says she was jumped by her ex and his friends on March 2023, causing a front tooth to break, a concussion, and a scar on her chin. I will need to see hospital records, Laura Owens. I will need to see that particular, ER doctor come in and tell me these things. I don't trust women. I don't trust men. I trust facts. So if you've got the recipients, if you've got the receipts, then bring them, ma'am, because I don't know what flinging poo has to do with social justice, but I am all the confused. You are welcome to come on this show. I will only, make fun of you every time the thought of you flinging poo comes into my head, which admittedly might be a lot, but you can air your story and I will attempt to be an adult. It'll be a personal growth for both of us. What in the actual heck? In well, not our best woman driver ever. Not our we're not sending our best women drivers. A drunk road rage driver nearly runs herself over while yelling at another motorist in a viral video. Let me see if I can get this video to play because, well, it just doesn't seem to be working out for Karen as such. Oh, nope. Nope, put it in neutral, put it in park, or we didn't put it in park. Nope. No, run, run. No, it's going to crash. Oh, well, I mean, we're going to need Trooper Paul to get on the physics of that because I think she just done flew 30 feet and did a triple Lutz, according to Trooper Paul. A road rage driver caught a dose of instant karma when she got out of her car to confront another motorist, only to realize she forgot to engage her handbrake and her vehicle rolled down the hill. A video of the incident posted on Reddit shows the woman dressed in a white tank top and Miami Marlins baseball cap accosted another driver as he filmed their encounter. Quote, "What are you tweaking about?" the male motorist inquires as the woman opens the door to scold him for allegedly spinning and swerving on the road, claiming to have an 82-year-old man as her passenger. Well, I mean, he does look like he's stuck in the car with you, ma'am. Now, the woman was notably slurring her words and rages, "Just because it's the 4th of July doesn't mean you have to be a F and D." Well, I mean, what bless her heart. I can't imagine. I always love dictums. I love dictums. You act like a dick, then you claim to be the victim. I have a t-shirt of wisdom that says that. But gotta love, drunk Karen telling other guy he's driving unsafely. The man flatly says, "You're drunk AF." And she earns himself, well, a go love yourself, recommendation. So she said, "Go love yourself, please." She then throws open the door of her car and emerges from her said car to, open her own can of whoop behind. Before she can even stand up straight, her sedan starts comically rolling away with the 82-year-old, passenger of safety in it. The woman spits out, "Am I the one effing swerving?" Then catches on as her, car starts running away from her. I mean, you know, she could have just done squished herself. Her car rolls a few feet before bumping into an SUV when the driver's side door whipped back. It nearly pinned her leg. There she and oh, the driver sputters as he attempts to give real-time commentary of the bizarre encounter. The video then cuts and resumes, showing the woman apparently explaining the situation to the driver of the SUV she just hit. "Look, it was important that I explainerated how he was driving to him. He needed my expert opinion. I am HR of the road, self-appointed." And they're like, "Ma'am, how much, Hennessy did you drink this morning?" "I always put a little Bailey's in my coffee." The footage ends with all three cars continuing on their way. The angry woman's sedan pulls out in front of the driver who filmed the encounter, brandishing a sizable dent on the driver's side door. Neither driver's identity was immediately known, nor was it apparent where the incident happened. That being said, the SUV that the woman's car hit appeared to have a Florida driver's license, and palm trees could be seen in the video. So, I'm a guess Florida man because she's wearing a Florida man, yeah, Florida Marlins hat, but these are just context clues and nothing is definitive. Y'all don't drink and drive. I can't. Y'all, why? Just why? At least no one was seriously hurt with this, but I guess, drinking gives some people, big old sense of I don't know, strong person, because I would not have I have seen enough, World Star TV, internet stuff. I am not getting into any road rage stuff because you never know who's packing heat, and I don't feel like taking anyone off that might be. In one of the weirdest stories I've seen, and that's saying something. A Chinese migrant offers sexual favors to get a hitman to kill lover's wife and daughter, but the plot was foiled by a scam site. What in the name of telenovelas is going on here? A Chinese citizen living in Queens tried to hire a hitman to kill her beau's wife and adult daughter through a scam site, then offered, the sexual favors to one of the would-be victim's neighbors to finish the job, prosecutors said. Yi Zhao, 42, allegedly paid $5,000 to a fake website that she thought would send a hired, you know, Assassin's Creed member to take out her still married lover's family in 2009, U.S. Attorney Byron Peace said in a story. Zhao had set the arrangement or is set to be arraigned in Brooklyn federal court on Monday, and prosecutors have asked the court to remand her based on concerted and painstaking efforts to kill numerous people, which they said makes her a clear danger to the community if released. Zhao, who does not have permanent legal status in the United States, faces more than 12 years in prison if she is convicted. She could also be deported. Her twisting saga began sometime between March 25th and April 4th of 2019, when Zhao allegedly used the alias Big Tree to order the, hit on the site, then contracted with a Ukrainian exchange service for Bitcoin payment, prosecutors allege. She offered a slew of details about the victim, including her home address, her work schedule, and the best times to find her. I mean, how dare the internet? I mean, we should be able to believe hitmen websites. How dare they be a scam? Ma'am, why did you go? I mean, I am terrible with technology, but even I know the dark webs exist for this. I don't know how you work it. I think it's magic, maybe. But I mean, I would think that someone would have somewhere better to go than, you know, Agent 47 or Agent 41. Look, I don't play video games, but you would think that, John Wick isn't going to offer his services over like, hitman.com. Just a little life advice. At the time, the defendant was having an affair with the victim's spouse and became emotionally invested in the relationship. I guess he didn't have any bunnies to boil. She's like, I will not be ignored, Dan. She threatened the woman herself as well, writing in a December 2019 text message that she would, well, give her the old Taylor Schabusiness jigsaw puzzle, sort of ending. And she knew where she lived, according to the feds. I watch you all the time. These are text messages that the wife got. But through it all, Zhao, who Feds says has worked for years in illicit spas throughout the United States, had no idea that the website was a scam. And when she wised up, she allegedly began sending disturbing threats of physical and SA against the administrators or the site administrator and his family. Ma'am, you done threatened the guy who made the dumb site up. You're just adding felonies. You have a felony potpourri, in front of you. I mean, good lord, ma'am. But she wasn't done with her lover's family either. She's got a list and she is angry. In February 2021, Zhao texted her lover's daughter's neighbor and asked if they would unalive her instead. Zhao offered to pay the neighbor $10,000 and some sexual favors in exchange for unaliving the daughter and disposing of the body in a lake. I'm sure she did it on Facebook, and they have all the messages. They arrested, it is not clear how the feds caught on to Zhao's alleged scheme, but they arrested her at a Virginia spa on June 5th and extradited her to New York on July 3rd. Well, she had her own little pre-Independence Day with a little lockup. Yu Zhao is accused of offering cryptocurrency cash and even sexual favors during her discussions related to having her then partner's spouse and adult daughter unalived. Ivan Avrelo, head of Homeland Security Investigations' New York office, said in a statement, "Little did she know the website she allegedly thought she was using to solicit a hitman was a farce, and the crimes of which she is accused would catch up with her." The feds added that Zhao has worked at several spas throughout the country that have a reputation for, let's just say, the massage may go further than, what it's legally supposed to go. Yeah, I mean, allegedly. But she's been all over the country, Wyoming, Maryland, and Virginia. Yeah, she tried again. Look, if at first you don't succeed, try the neighbors and some handy J's. See how that gets you going. What in the y'all, I did not have this on my bingo card. I did not have crazy woman uses, John Wick website. Of course, I also didn't have flinging poo into a koi pond to get justice, but in another super premium, let's get Lord Chippy going here because I have this is a dumpster water person. A man who dropped a young boy headfirst off the second-story balcony at a resort was just trying to, quote, scare him a little bit, police said. What in the name of I have drunk nothing but, dark eyes for 3 days was this idea? Sir, directly into Lord Chippy, do not pass go. We'll see if it scares you a little bit, allegedly in Minecraft. A Why am I not shocked? I don't even know why I didn't figure to put this stinger up, but Florida man. Florida man. I mean, are we shocked? A 31-year-old Florida man is behind bars, where he should be, after he allegedly dropped a young boy from a second-story balcony in order to, quote, scare him a little bit, Daytona Beach police allege. Yeah, y'all, we do enjoy clean energy, so Lord Chippy will eventually be, you know, nuclear powered, as the good Lord intended. Horrified guests at the Sandalwood Resort in Daytona called 911 shortly before 8 p.m. on Saturday when they saw 31-year-old Brandon Gilmore drop the boy headfirst from the balcony, police said in a probable cause arrest affidavit obtained by Law and Crime. The boy's mother said she met Gilmore at the hotel pool prior in the day. Ma'am, are you Look, I'm not trying to judge you as a mom because moms are also women and, you're still allowed to do that, but you would let someone have access to your most treasured possession, your heart's, where your heart beats, your children, and you never met him before? Who the F in Hades does that? I mean, I am trying here not to sit and judge, but ma'am, your children are their most precious possessions. They are the greatest blessings you are ever gonna get in life, and you just let random, you know, bearded beard guy go in? What the actual We might have another for Lord Chippy. I am about done with people not taking care of their children. The mother told the cops she left her son with Gilmore while she went to take a shower. That would be a hell no from me. I don't know you from Adam. I'm not gonna let my son stay with you. Absolutely not. Y'all, I recant. I am judging all the judging, okay? I am sorry, but you don't know this person from Adam or Eve, and you're gonna let him with your child? I am sure she feels terrible because I have not read this article, so I hope that this little boy ended up okay, because if he didn't, I'm sure this mother I y'all, let's just read the article before I have an aneurysm because 'cause I'm smelling burnt toast right now. Witnesses said they saw Gilmer holding the boy by his feet over the second-story balcony, then letting him go. They heard the child scream after How is this man not sporting a big old black eye in his mugshot? Okay, Imma go on. Gilmore said in the interview with the detectives he told the boy's mother he was going to take the boy outside to play with him and, quote, scare him a little bit, according to the affidavit. And she's like, that's fine. I'm going to take a shower and deep condition my hair. So it's going to be a while. So you got plenty of time. I mean, y'all, this is like when I watched Radio Flyer and I was like, "The mom took the MFer back? Are you effing kidding me? I'm about done with dumb women taking men over children. Look, I get it. No one wants to be alone, but you have a responsibility to your children first. And by the grace of God, I was a dumb, dumb single mother, okay? I was dumb, and I admit it. But looking back, and by the grace of God, you know, we were kept safe, even though I was an idiot. So I'm trying not to judge her because maybe she was just an idiot too. But this is burning my biscuits as an older mom who has done learned all the lessons, and has seen all the horror stories. This is pissing me off big time. Paramedics rushed the boy to the hospital with blunt force injuries to his head. The first responders were concerned that he may have suffered internal injuries as well. Police have not released an update on the boy's condition. All right, I will be looking up his condition because I am just ticked off as heck. Cops arrested Gilmore on an aggravated CA charge and took him to the Velosa County Jail without bond. The Department of Children and Families responded to the incident and took a report. Look, I hope with all of my heart that this little boy is okay. And to this mom, as much as I have dogged on you, look, you made a terrible choice. You just did. Own it. And if your son is lucky enough to be okay and you get through all of this, make better choices. The boy is, I believe the boy was a very young child, so it doesn't say the age. A 2-year-old. Thank you, Nanny Goat, a 2-year-old. So, ma'am, you know what? You can make better choices. Your children are your greatest treasure. Don't let people you haven't vetted near them. And vetted doesn't mean you spend an hour at a bar and, thought he was pretty cool, has a nice, beard. That is not how any of this works. So, I'm sorry I was a little judgmental because everyone can get a redemption arc, but ma'am, you have burned my biscuits, frosted my flakes, and scorched my grits today, and I hope you take a real good look at who you're letting in your kid's life, because I'm about done. In history news, since I'm all Twitter-pated now, I need something about George Washington to make me feel better. History enthusiast finds an artifact belonging to George Washington at Goodwill. It's very unusual. Interesting. Please don't let it be a codpiece. An artifact belonging to President George Washington recently landed in the hands of a Virginia history enthusiast, then at a museum, all thanks to Goodwill. The piece is currently on display at the Museum of American Revolution in Philadelphia. Collector Richard Dana Moore stumbled across the artifact, which is a 6-inch long piece of linen fabric from Washington's dining marquee or tent on Goodwill's auction site. The fabric was auctioned off with a note that read, "A piece of George Washington's tent from the history beginning at Jamestown Exposition, 1907, property of John Burns, December 23rd, 07." While most of Moore's collection is made up of Civil War artifacts, he also has accumulated pieces from the American Revolution and the War of 1812 over the years through metal detecting. During an interview with Fox News Digital, the history buff said he thought the piece couldn't be real at first. But when I zoomed in, the fabric looked authentically old, he explained. The brief handwritten note referencing Jamestown Exposition of 1907, which was attached with a rusty pen, added a feeling of age. My gut kept telling me this could be real. Feeling that the piece was special, Moore bought the fabric at the auction site for $1,300. Moore explained that after buying the piece, he felt overwhelmed about being responsible for such an important artifact of history. Okay, but how did they authenticate it? I mean, it does look duly old and the note looks old, but that's like everyone saying they have a little piece of the original cross. I don't know. Let's see how they authenticated it if they did. He waited to tell his wife, Susan Bowen, about the purchase, and she was initially skeptical about it. The wife is like, "Did you do any research?" I assumed it couldn't be real until over a year later when we watched an online presentation from the Museum of the American Revolution, Bowen explained to Fox News Digital. That's what prompted them to reach out. Matthew Sick, curator of the museum, told Fox News Digital that the fabric was cut as a souvenir while the marquee was on display in 1907. As the note confirms, the Canopy made an appearance at the Jamestown Exposition of that year. At the time, Mary Curtis Lee, Martha Washington's great-great-granddaughter and daughter of Robert E. Lee, Owned Washington's tents from the Revolutionary War, he added. She put the dining marquee on loan to the exposition. In 1778, Washington used two marquees while he traveled alongside his troops, one for dining and the other for his personal offices and sleeping quarters. The fabric that Moore found was part of Washington's dining canopy. Six certified the authenticity of the fabric after examining the piece. We took a close look at the weave of the fabric and the style and shape of the red wool edging with assistance from a textile conservator, Virginia Wayland, he added. The detail matching the dining marquee, uh, we were able to determine that the fabric was cut away from the scalloped edge of the roof of the dining marquee. The expert noted that the fabric has darkened over the year due to accumulation of dirt and dust. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I think I have lost a good solid 8 hours of my life watching those rug cleaning videos. Now, y'all, my carpet has been through 6 children. We are currently in the process of trying to remove it all, but I love those, rug washing videos. I am I'm in love with them. I love seeing those clean. I wanna do that. If I couldn't be a YouTuber, I'd probably start my own rug cleaning tile floor, power washer thing. I might do that as a side business, I don't know. But I doubt Mr. Mo would trust me with his power washer, so the idea is a bit moot, not mute. Very good, the Shroud of Washington. I have no idea how one would get that degree. Maybe underwater basket weaving has a textile, offshoot. The red wool binding on the edge has faded a bit but retains most of its color, he added. The fragment edges were frayed from being cut away from the marquee. Sick added that finding artifacts such as this are very unusual, especially through a Goodwill online auction. Prior to the discovery of this fragment, 9 fragments of Washington tent were known to exist, all in collections of museums or other institutions, he explained. The Museum of the American Revolution, for example, owns 3 fragments of Washington's tents. There may be more fragments out there. The fabric is currently on display at the Philadelphia Museum, along with other fragments. Okay, y'all, I'm just saying, this was on display like at a county fair. Who the heck then decides to steal a little piece? Like, did they not have security? I don't know. But I'm just thinking if I tried to go, to Madame Trousseau's or somewhere and tried to take a clip of real, I don't know, Kim Kardashian hair to make a voodoo doll or something, they get a little pissy at me. So I'm surprised that someone was able to cut a scalloped edge and everyone was like, it'll be fine. Historians are still actively investigating the piece, and Six said that the museum is researching who John Burns, the man that supposedly wrote the handwritten note, was. Bowen said that seeing the artifact in the Museum of the American Revolution was an honor. Seeing it as part of the exhibit was so exciting, she said. It's been a very emotional day for us. I mean, it's a good thing his wife has that attitude because I'd be like, we spent $1,300 and now we donated it to a museum. I'm gonna go spend $1,300 on something I like, sir. And I'm gonna keep it. Room just filled with Sailor Moon stuff. In our final story, some intrepid teens decide to visit all 272 underground stations in London in record time. I mean, you know what? I love seeing teens do kind of wacky things. Oh, well, I'll look it up. I will. You know what's sad is if I had a Kim Kardashian doll, I would just sit it in front of, like, Discovery Channel and make her learn things. Is that bad? Because I think that's all I would do. I would just make her, like, read thesauruses and history books and things like that, and then I'd stop her vocal fry however I would. I'd use my voodoo powers for good, Lord. A group of 8 British teenagers took their enthusiasm for public transportation to extremes and broke the Guinness World Record by riding The London Underground. The teenagers are aged 16 to 17, and they visited all 272 London Underground stations with a time of 18 hours, 8 minutes, and 13 seconds. The group, who call themselves the Amersham ambushers, were required to visit every London Underground stop using only public transportation. They had attempted what they called the London Tube Challenge twice before, but only found success on their third try. Quote, "We wanted to complete this for two reasons," team member Arthur Phillips told Guinness World Record. "It was a fun puzzle planning the route, as some are quite mathematically inclined, and additionally, it allowed us to explore parts of London that we haven't ever had a reason to go before." Phillips said the previous world or record holder was good humor about losing their title and would be meeting the Amersham ambushers for lunch. And I love this. I mean, kids doing wacky things that aren't, eating Tide Pods or planking or licking ice cream and putting it back. This has my stamp of approval. And they used the maths, okay? Like, if my son wanted to do this, I'd be super proud. I'm like, "You math the heck out of this. Keep your cell phone on you, keep your eyes on a swivel, but have fun." I just I like seeing stories where teens aren't doing ridiculous things and are actually, having fun, but not on their pads or doing things. So good for these guys. They figured it out. They persevered after two failed attempts and got their third, try. S- No, I know, but I would use my voodoo powers for good, Lord. If not voodoo powers, then could I get at least a 4-pack? Okay, I'm not greedy, just 1 ab. Just 1. I'd show it off in the summer, I'd put it away in the winter, just, you know, some positive reinforcement. I hope you guys have a great day. I am not sure about nightly news. I am pretty sure that my relatives will be at my brother's house, so I'm pretty sure I will have a nightly news thing. I have a couple stories, a couple separate videos that I wanted to do with longer articles today, so expect at least one of those to come out, and I will be trying to get, back on the Epstein thing. I just have to it's easier to do it with Shizzy, and again, not the easiest thing to talk about, but I definitely wanna get that transcript out, so it will either be this week or next week, more likely next week, that we will finish up those transcripts. Um, Again, I know it is a difficult subject and not for me, but please share that video. People need to know what the state did to those young ladies, how they portrayed them, how the jury got them. I understand it is not an easy subject. Keep your mental health, but if you know someone that would like to, or you would think would be interested or would get the message out, they definitely, I feel like, and this is tinfoil hattery, but they definitely released this on a very busy news week, and it's kind of gotten lost in the shuffle. And I really hope that if that victim is out there anywhere, ma'am, and to the young lady you were, that was awful, and you've got just a ton of honey badger moms that would be willing to stand up for you anytime. So, I want that victim to know she has so much support, and she should have never been treated that way. Anyhoozle, I am going to go make breakfast, probably waffles. I hope you have a lovely, lovely day. Stay safe. We are getting storms here in Indiana, the remnants of I love inland hurricanes. So, just have a safe day. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to others. Celebrate your small steps forward. They're going to get you to your long journey. So celebrate those and just have a wonderful day. Bye, guys.